Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. And what we're going to show you today is how to get a high-level professional cinematic grade using a mobile device such as your iPad and iPhone, using various apps to get a refined cinematic look to take your footage to the next level. We have opened up LumaFusion, and as you can see we have pre-selected a whole lot of shots that we will work with. The first step is where we're going to start with applying a LUT and then add some basic color corrections to refine the look that we want. So let's go into shot number 1. We're going to double tap on the clip. Now we're in the color and effects panel. As you can see, we've preloaded the SpectrumGrades LUTs. You can view them over here. The installation is pretty simple and very quick, and once it's installed, it then stays in LumaFusion every time you start it up. The great benefit about these LUTs is that you can use them on your desktop editors as well, such as Premiere Pro, Final Cut and DaVinci. You can then use them as you please. So let's start off with a shot, and as you can see we've gone into the LUT section here and they've given us a whole lot of previews to see what these particular LUTs do. I'm going to go with the one that I think is quite nice, and personally will be go for this one. Okay, as you can see it looks amazing and we've already got a really strong grade. What we do notice is that it's slightly dark and it could just be brightened up just a tiny bit. Now what we can do is then go to your first panel over here, and you're then going to add a basic color adjustment. Now that fits underneath the actual LUT over here, as you can see. The thing to do here is you minimize the menu. This handle will then come up and you can then shift it above the actual LUT. So we're going to expand the menu and we're now going to just refine it. We're going to just increase the brightness, and we don't want to blow out the lights too much, so we still want to maintain detail in the highlights. And we can pull it down or up the brightness, and you know, it's quite nice. You can also then increase saturation or desaturate a little bit. Okay, so I quite like it without any adjustments on the saturation on this particular one, but I do want to just kind of play with the contrast a little bit. On this particular tool, the levels tool, it's quite nice. I will then not make it as bright, just slightly darker before and after. Now this is looking great. I'll then play it forward, click on this color and effects menu and it will go full screen. You can then just go and press play and you can see the effect over there. Let's go into the next shot. We're going to do the same thing. Go to shot number 2 and we're looking at a more extreme shot where there's a lot of backlighting. We're going to double tap on the clip. We can start off again. We're going to add the basic adjustments. We're not going to do anything yet. Going to go to the LUT. As you can see, this is a lot of backlight, sun coming straight into camera, but I think this could lend itself to a sort of more stronger look, which is looking great. It actually works super well. And then what we can do is just do the basic tweaks once again. Now we've going to do these adjustments over here, and in my opinion I think we can just drop the saturation just a tiny bit. There we go, and I quite like that. It already looks very good as it is without and with the LUT. Great. Now let's go to a more challenging shot. This one over here. We start off with a shot where the sun is behind you, then the camera rotates around, and then the sun goes more towards you, so it becomes more backlit scene. Now the exposure was set for that particular angle, and now it is actually at that point a little bit different. Here we go into the clip, and we will start off at the beginning of the shot. Okay, let's go to the front end of the shot. We're then going to go to the LUT and apply it. We are going to go with, let's see, go with this one here. I quite like that. Okay, so now we're going to then add our basic color adjustment. There we go. We are then going to shift that up. And then we're going to do some basic tweaks for this particular angle of the camera. So I'd like to just give it a bit more contrast. Just get the clouds to pop out a bit more. And there we go. There we go. So we don't want the clouds to lose detail. We could increase brightness like that. And there we go. Increase contrast. Again, before and after. So let's play it. Okay, that's looking fantastic. I'm really happy with that. But now let's go a little bit further on in the shot. You'll see everything kind of blows out. This area over here loses a lot of detail. So let's do this. We're going to go back into our edit. We're going to probably go to about, let's say, this point, about halfway. We're going to cut it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we are then going to go into the second half and we're going to edit this particular shot. We're going to go to right to the end and we're then just going to adjust it accordingly. We're going to pull down the brightness, readjust the contrast and everything so that you start getting the detail back in the clouds. As you can see, we've done some basic adjustments and we have balanced the image at the end of the shot. We are now going to go back to the edit. Now the wonderful trick to this is we're going to add a transition. Let's go to the top corner over here and we're going to select transitions. And then we're going to take the cross dissolve and we're going to add that. Let's zoom in a bit. Command plus on the keyboard. And we are then going to stretch out this transition. Let's command minus, go back. Now you can see both the clips. There's the beginning part of the first clip, and there's the end part of the second clip. What we've done is we have now created a crossfade between the two grades. Now if we play it back, you can see that it seamlessly maintains the grade across both shots and it's balanced all the way through. Now the next shot that we've got is going to be something that really gives your shot a beautiful touch. We have now gone back to the edit. As you can see, we've got two identical shots and this is just for demonstration purposes to illustrate the difference. We're on the second shot. We are then going to duplicate the same shot. It will duplicate it above it. Okay. Then we're going to double tap on this top layer. We're then going to add a blur. We're going to add about a 20. It really doesn't matter. These are presets on the amount. So you can choose 100 and it's the same Gaussian blur. But let's pull it down to about 14 or 15. Really doesn't matter at this point because you'll see exactly what we're going to do. As you can see now, we've got the blurred layer on top of the unblurred layer. If we hide that layer, you can see it is clear. And we then unhide it. Now we're on the top layer. We're going to go to this bottom icon over here. It's called frame and fit. And we are then going to expand the blending mode. We are then going to pull blending mode all the way to, let's say, something that you feel will be really nice. So we are going to go to, let's say, 25% opacity. What this is actually doing is it's creating a soft layer on top of the footage. And it still maintains detail and sharpness. Now the trick to this is subtlety. Just tweak it up a bit. We can then go to, let's say, the blur amount and we can reduce that a bit more or a bit less because we don't want it to look too hazy. We want it to still have detail. And if we look at that, before and after, it's such a subtle effect, but makes such a beautiful difference. And then we can go to the opacity again and just refine that amount, so we can pull it down to sort of, so it's not as strong, maybe 13 or 14. That should be quite good. Let's go back to the edit page, the cut page, and let's go full screen, press play. The other added benefit about this effect is that it actually, in a way, denoises the footage. So LumaFusion does not have any noise reduction, and this is a way to soften, keep detail, and to reduce a little bit of noise. Now what I've added are some cinescope bars, which I've added into the description of the video. So I'll unhide it, and as you can see, it's now created a top layer where it gives you that cinescope effect. You can use it to your own accord. This is the effect, as you can see. Just double tap over here. Again, that's the cinescope bars. You can see the effect on how that looks. It really gives a nice cinematic feel. One more trick. Again, let's go into the first shot. We are then going to go to the color and effect. So now what we're going to do is add a very subtle vignette. Let's go to the top menu over here, third icon on the top, and we're going to go to, let's say, vignette number 3, and we're just going to pull the intensity right down because a vignette has to be very subtle. There we go, very subtle. It just focuses your eye into the center of the frame. We just want to have a very low intensity on it. And all these small details add to the overall look of your shot. Let's do the same over here on this particular shot. We are then backtracking a bit, and then we're going to add a Gaussian blur. Let's move it above the vignette. And then we'll go to our opacity. Pull that down to about 12%. Let's take a look at the before and after. Here's the before shot, ungraded, untreated, with no grade or any post effects. This is the finalized graded shot. It's a huge, massive difference. It's done very easily, very effectively, and you can do this all on your mobile device. This technique will be of great value to a lot of people to get the most out of the footage. If there are any questions, place them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. So good luck with your grading, and let's see what you come up with. Until next time, thank you.